Well, hey everybody, John Rithlin here, and with Money in the Bank 2019 just around the corner, I got a couple questions I'm going to pose to you, and then answer them, because otherwise this is going to be pointless. Who deserves to win the men's Money in the Bank briefcase? Who deserves to win the women's Money in the Bank briefcase? These are the questions I'm going to answer here, and I'm just going to look at the fields. I will touch on people that should be included in this in a little bit. Big shout out to Athelina WWE. Thank you very much for this suggestion. From fellow wrestling fan to all of the fellow wrestling fans watching this, if you have certain topics you would like me to discuss that I haven't discussed, I would love to do that. If it's timely, I will try to get to it, in a very timely manner, but I'm going to be very busy with work throughout the summer and even possibly in the fall. I'm very, very busy. And also, I got a lot of content like weekly reviews, Best of Super Juniors coming up, and pay-per-view reviews, and then also the G1 Climax from New Japan. Yes, I laugh at that name too. The whole point is I will get to the topics if I can, so leave them in the comments, find me on Twitter. With the Money in the Bank fields for the men and the women, there's some good potential for some, maybe one shocking win, but really, I'm not going to go over who I think will win as much. I'll get into those details more on the Money in the Bank predictions, but with this, there's really only two that could win with the men and one dark horse pick, and then two that could win for the women and one dark horse pick. So really it's just going for who deserves it. Now, I mean, it's not necessarily who I think it's not necessarily who I think will win it, but it's who I think deserves to win. So I'm going to rifle through some of these quickly, though I will say guys like Aleister Black, Cedric Alexander, Apollo, Robert Roode, are guys that I would have put in there. I know Lars isn't in there, and I get why. I think he's going to be feuding with R-Truth on the pre-show. But I would have included guys like that as opposed to some of the guys that they included. And I'm starting off basically ranking them from the bottom like hell no to yes. That's how I did the ranking system. But starting off representing Raw, Baron Corbin, hell no. Nobody wants to see him win his second Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, if you do, that's fine. I can't imagine there's a massive uproar for him to win another, Money in the Bank briefcase when the first cash-in was a dismal fucking failure. I'm not saying Baron's a bad guy. I'm not saying that. I find him boring on the mic. In the ring, he's good, more or less, but I don't know why they're still having him dress like a waiter from TGI Fridays or dress like he was, as the general manager. It just makes no sense. But that aside, no, hell no, Baron does not deserve to win. Then we go to SmackDown, Randy Orton. Randy Orton shouldn't even be in this fucking match. Aleister, Cedric, well, let's see. No, Cedric's on Raw, but Aleister. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, it's like, okay, is Aleister injured, or are they just doing these promos because of this? Do they not know what the fuck they're doing? They really don't know what the fuck they're doing with a lot of people, but the whole point is, look, I get it. Orton is a legend, kind of in his own mind, but also a legend. I'm bored of Orton. I'm bored of the guy. And I really have no fucking desire to see him in this. Yes, he'll pull off some cool moves, jerk people off ladders, have fun in seeing that, and hit RKOs. I can't really do the RKO all that well, but he'll just snap and hit the RKO. But Orton, hell no. He certainly shouldn't win it, because we don't need to see him as Money in the Bank winner when even in 2013 he shouldn't have been the Money in the Bank winner, even though it led to a good storyline after a while. But we then get to Raw, Braun Strowman. No, I love Braun. I do. I love Braun. I was happy when he won Money in the Bank last year, and that was their final chance to reignite and reinvigorate what they did with him, and they fucked it all up. He's beyond repair at this point. There's too many big guys in this. In my opinion, I would have taken out Corbin, and I would have put in either Rude, yeah, Aleister, maybe put in Cedric. I mean, yes, you would have had some high-flying guys. You could have had some flippy shit, but ladder matches are supposed to be about flippy shit too. Electric Boogaloo. The whole point is I just don't get why Braun's there. Well, I get why Braun's there. I'm going to be Mr. Monster in the Bank. No, you're fucking not, Braun. You're not going to win it. And I like Braun. I got nothing against the guy. I actually think he should have been Universal Champion by this point, but no, he should not be in this. There's three guys right there that should not be in it. I mean, I get it. I sort of get it with Braun. Corbin, I guess, maybe they think, I don't know. Finn Balor, I get why. He is the Intercontinental Champion, and they don't really have a feud or program going with him. I mean, he'll probably end up feuding with Andrade at some point. But Yet Balor, I mean, I get why he's in there, but he's obviously not going to win because they're not going to have him as Intercontinental Champion and Money in the Bank briefcase holder. So he sort of deserves to be in there, but does he deserve to win the briefcase? No. Ricochet, maybe in a year, but no, not now. And I like Ricochet. I would love to see him get a crack at the championship. But of course, Ricochet's representing Raw, Finn Balor's representing SmackDown. But no, Ricochet doesn't really deserve to win. Nothing against Ricochet. World-class ability, but it's not his time. My dark horse pick actually is Mustafa Ali, because if they wanted to go with the thing where he tweeted about getting an opportunity ripped from him, sure, Ali could win it, and then maybe could face Kevin Owens if Owens beats Kofi. Beat him at Money in the Bank or something, or not Money in the Bank, but beat him at SummerSlam or something like that. Mustafa Ali's a dark horse pick. I'm not saying deserves. He has worked hard and everything, and has gotten back after that injury. I don't know if it's going to ultimately work. Even though Ali's an incredibly hard worker, they might just keep him upper mid card. But he would be my dark horse pick. The two that deserve it, and it's like 1 and 1A. My number one is Drew McIntyre. Drew should win it. He should smash through whoever the Universal Champion is, whether it's AJ or whether it's Rollins, beat him and just go on a freaking run of like 8 months and just be champion like that, because he fucking deserves to be that. He is an incredibly hard worker. He has reinvigorated himself, reinvented himself, and he deserves to be champion. Plus, also, he has the look of a champion. He can talk. He's great in the ring. He looks like a fucking killer. But it's between him and Andrade. Because Andrade, they've done almost next to nothing with in a year on the main roster. I mean, he had a great series of matches with Rey Mysterio, and he had other good matches, but he's had no real good, solid programs. I mean, even that program with Mysterio didn't really go anywhere. He seems to have a budding program going with Finn Balor, so I'm thinking the one that deserves it the most out of the men is Drew. Drew 100% deserves it. I mean, and that's just where I'm going to leave that off. But then we get to, if Drew doesn't win, Drew or Andrade does not win, I will be very, very shocked. But those two deserve it. Drew deserves it just a little bit more, even though I love Andrade. We then get to the women's side. Firstly, there is no Sarah. No Sarah Logan. Hell, no Liv Morgan. I mean, I don't know if Liv Morgan is necessarily ready for a ladder match. But there's none of that. You couldn't have had, maybe they want to have the squad reunite in a ladder match, like just temporarily. But no Sarah Logan, who's a freaking beast in the ring. No, Asuka and Kairi seem to be, teaming and you're going to feud with the Iconics. Okay, so none of them. You got Charlotte and Becky. You got Becky versus Lacey. Okay. But no Sarah Logan. No Ruby Riott. No Mickie James. No fuck all of like people that actually deserve it. Nope, we're going to put Alexa Bliss in here. Look, I got nothing against Alexa Bliss as a person at all, but hell no, we don't need to fucking see her win the briefcase again, when you could argue she shouldn't have won the briefcase the first time, even though I understood why she did, and it led to a decent program with Ronda Rousey. Decent, not great. Alexa should not be in this. Throw Ruby in there, for God's sakes. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bury anybody on Raw, or bury certain ones, but Dana Brooke, who I'm sure has worked incredibly hard and is trying to get her chance. Sure, it's giving a new person an opportunity, or a person who has not gotten many opportunities, a chance in a ladder match. But I'm sorry, Dana Brooke, who I'm sure is nice. I'm sure has worked hard. I'm not going to take that away from her. By all rights and counts I've heard, she's pretty damn nice to her fans. And I'm sure if I ever met her, I would probably think the same thing. But no, over Ruby or Sarah? Fuck no. It's just a freaking slap in the face to two women that, sorry, are better workers and, quite frankly, could do more in that ladder match. I just don't see why the Raw side is so fucking weak as far as women. And, especially with those two. And I'm sorry, Alexa, I got nothing against Alexa. But her time is, I'm not saying her time has come and gone, but she spent so much time out of the ring, at least as far as on TV. And yes, she's had concussion issues and stuff like that, but maybe you shouldn't put her in a fucking ladder match. Just a thought. I mean, she's kind of the pseudo-Raw GM because she's just able, she's doing the Moment of Bliss stuff and the talk show stuff. So maybe this is just a way to phase her out of being in the ring. Maybe this is going to be one of the last times she's in the ring. Who the fuck knows? But yeah, Alexa, Dana Brooke, no. Ruby and Sarah, put them in there. And then they could turn on each other. Not like that. But they could, moving on. They could, but that would be nice because Ruby deserves a fucking opportunity not to lose to Dana Brooke on main event. No, I just don't fucking get that. And Sarah Logan, freaking beast, strong, powerful, is somebody that could actually do well. Somebody that did well in that women's, battle royal. There's no Sonya Deville in this, but we have Carmella in it. Carmella won the first two Money in the Bank, the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches when you had Ellsworth help her, which I admit at the time I sort of praised because I was like, okay, it's a way to get good heel heat, but it did have a bad effect on the fact that, yeah, it just showed that a man had to help the women, had to help a woman, men had to help women, do things, and it wasn't exactly the best way to do it. It was kind of shit, but no Sonya, who deserves many opportunities, many fucking great opportunities, by the way. Let's put Carmella in there, who, again, sorry, it sounds like I'm chewing my food twice, when it comes to what I'm saying about some of the women, I'm sure Carmella's nice, but no, as far as in-ring ability, she is not nearly up to what Sonya is. Is she bad in the ring? No. But Sonya is somebody that should be getting an opportunity, and yes, it sounds like I'm gushing over Sonya, and I am. I just want to see her get some opportunity. She got an excellent opportunity against, Asuka in the finals of that Battle Royal where Asuka won and then got an opportunity at a match at TLC, I believe. And people were cheering for Sonya. Now, granted, that was 5 months ago, almost 6 months ago. God, that seems like a lifetime ago. Sonya got cheers at Mania. Dana got cheers at Mania. And that's great. That's great that Dana has fans. But I would take her, these three women, I'm sorry, I would have Sarah, Ruby, and, for Raw, and I would have Sonya on SmackDown. I get why Carmella's there. She was the first, she was the one that won the inaugural Money in the Bank match for the women. So I get that. But as far as ability, no, and hell no. I don't want any of those three to win. And then we get to Natalya, who I love. I love Natalya. I think Natalya's fan-fucking-tastic. I do. I think she's great in the ring. I think maybe a heel turn and maybe a little bit of a tweak to her character could help. Maybe she's happy in her role. I don't know. I'm not here to say that. I do love Natalya. I'm glad Natalya's in this match. But boy, they really should. She's not going to win it. So that's kind. And you don't need to have all stars and everything in these Money in the Bank matches, but Natty isn't going to win. Now, I mean, I personally would take out Alexa and Dana, and I would put Natty in there. They maybe could have put Alicia Fox in there, but is Alicia Fox even still going to be active? Because after that match with Becky, I don't think she was on. I don't think she was on this week. Is she okay? Does anybody know? I mean, hell, keep Natty, keep Dana, but put Alicia in there, something like that. The whole point is Natty. I'm glad that Natty's in the match, but at the same time, I kind of feel like just her being in the mid card is pretty much all they're going to do with her, and she'll, use the ladder a bit, but she's just essentially there to take up a spot, which is a shame because again, I really like Natty. Should Natty win? No, I'm sorry, she shouldn't, and I like her quite a bit. I really hope she doesn't watch this and think I'm burying her. I don't think any wrestlers watch my content. I would be very, very fucking shocked if anybody did. If you do, if you're an indie wrestler who's watching my content, thank you. I really do appreciate it. If you're a WWE wrestler, I don't understand why, I don't understand how you have so much time on your hands. But anyway, Naomi, no, sorry. And Naomi on Raw, it's good. The Usos are there. Maybe she'll get some more opportunities. Would I be opposed to her being Raw Women's Champion at some point? No. Winning Money in the Bank. She could be Mrs. Glow in the Bank. They could, add light up stuff to the briefcases and sell them like gangbusters. In fact, marketing-wise, they might give it to Naomi. But no, no, sorry. I don't believe Naomi deserves it. And nothing against her. I would like to see her become Raw Women's Champion at some point, but not with the briefcase. Now we get to the Dark Horse pick. This is not unintentional. Dark Horse it's just a saying. Ember is my Dark Horse pick because I think telling a story with her coming back from injury and maybe taking the title from Charlotte or something like that, or maybe even taking it from Becky, would be a good way to go. Or maybe Asuka and Kairi don't win. Asuka wins the title back, and you get Ember finally defeating Asuka a number of months later. Why the fuck not? Ember would be the dark horse pick. She's kind of on the cusp of just being able to be deserving it, but she is a really good worker. And then it's a 1-1 ace situation. If it were up to me, I would give it to Bayley. Like, honestly, I feel Bayley does deserve the briefcase. Especially after quite a bit of the bad booking that she's received, especially in 2017, 2018. It hasn't been all bad, but, you know, the stuff with Sasha went nowhere, and then the teaming, and then that thing went up in smoke. And it's not knocking the Iconics. I actually like the fact that the Iconics are women's tag team champions, as they should be. They're a legit tag team and can really do a lot of good, getting a lot of heat and everything. And I do love the Iconics. I like Bayley. Sasha is not coming back. Whatever. I nothing against Sasha. Nothing against her. It's just if she's not going to be here, then she's not going to be factored into this stuff. But Bayley is who I feel does deserve it. So does Mandy, though, because there's some good potential with what they could tell with a story with Mandy Rose. One of two things are going to happen. I will touch on this a little. I'll get into more detail in the Money in the Bank predictions. Either Sonya's going to screw over Mandy and prevent her from getting the briefcase, or Mandy's going to win the briefcase, and then Sonya's going to screw her over once she wins the title, or screw her over when she tries to cash in, saying, I'm sick of always being in your shadow and everything, which, by the way, Sonya should not be in Mandy's shadow. Mandy's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I will say that she has improved in my eyes and has opened my eyes to the fact that she is better than I initially thought she was. Like, just, judging with your eyes and everything, judging with that, I didn't think she'd be much. She's better in the ring than I give her credit for. Whether I think she's great or not is irrelevant. Vince does like blondes, but that's not necessarily it. Mandy is somebody that they could build around. They could get some good stories. And it could eventually lead to Sonya and her, splitting and feuding and everything. And maybe Sonya could take the title from her. I would give it to Bayley. I feel Bayley does deserve it. But I also feel Mandy does deserve it. And I just presented some stuff right there. So that's where I'm going to leave this off right here. So yeah, it's a bit detailed, a bit long. I do apologize. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who are some of the men and women that you would take out, and what men would you put in? Who are some of the women that you would take out, and what women would you put in? Try to keep it from brand to brand, by the way. But anyway, like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I will see you soon.